All right, it is time once again to spin this giant wheel in our studio, the wheel of problematic, to decide what's problematic this week. I'm excited because whatever it is, I'm just last week we had an epiphany
Mm-hmm.
that we talk way too much just about like video games and electronics and all that stuff.
We went way into nerd territory last time, and
we did.
yeah,
We
and
started getting into comic books. That's how bad it got.
that's how bad it got. So we swore an oath that this episode we would veer. We would change topics abruptly.
Yeah, so we won't talk about video games or anything like that this week. But let's find out what is problematic this week. So let's see, whose turn is it? Yours, Nate?
I think it's mine. Yeah.
All right.
Let me give that a spin. Try. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what did we get?
Dude, you've got to be kidding me. It landed on video games.
What the?
Prophecy foretells of a podcast so stunning, so brave, that it could only ever go by one name. A show so woke that it became its own gender. A show so hot that we'll understand if it turns you gay. You're listening to Stunning and Brave with Chris Cowan and Nate Henderson.
Welcome once again to another edition of Stunning and Brave. I am Chris.
I'm Nate. Hello.
And we are Stunning and Brave. You are listening to us right now. We are the wokest show on the internet. Listening to us automatically makes your privilege increase.
Yes, by at least a couple notches.
But it's worth it, trust me, because the amount of wokeness you absorb from this podcast it's incalculable.
It's staggering.
And that's what matters. So just honestly, I think we should start giving out bumper stickers because there is no higher virtue signal than to let people know that you listen to Stunning and Brave.
That's true.
The name really just says it all. So
I'll start silk screening the t-shirts.
You should do that. Yeah. Actually, we should start doing some merch. Bumper stickers.
It's like we joke, but we should probably do that.
we probably should get on that. All right. I'll get on that.
Note you do everything else for the podcast. Why don't you do that?
That's why they pay me the big bucks. All dozen of them. And that's before the bills come out. So
right. But they all go to you.
Uncle Sam's got to get his cut, and
that's right. He's got to get his share of this money boon.
The hosting and advertisers. Did I tell you I tried to advertise this show on Facebook?
I thought that was just kind of a regular thing. Like you meant so you actually paid Facebook to try and get some publicity.
I tried to. They would not take my dollars.
They can do that, huh?
Yeah, our ad got rejected. I don't know if it was the gratuitous thumbnail of you in a bikini or
you really shouldn't have posted that.
If it was the racist slogan I included or what, but they did
in the banner.
Yeah, they did not like it.
Wow, I think we're even too woke for Facebook, really, is what it comes down to.
I think so. I think
they're like, we value ourselves as progressive and willing to cancel a whole lot, but man, even we can't side with you guys.
Wow, I think that is that's how cutting edge we are on the side of woke. We are so cutting edge.
They'll come around.
Facebook can't even comprehend it. Zuckerberg's brain just explodes every time he even
he's got to spend a little time, wrap his brain around that.
Yeah, for sure. I speaking of Facebook, I haven't mentioned it before, but I have another Facebook group. So we have the Stunning and Brave Autonomous Zone or SPAZ Facebook group for all of our listeners. But I have a few other Facebook groups, and one of them has recently just kind of grown a lot. and it's a Facebook group. It's a tag group called "Those Are Definitely All Words," and it's
Wait, so
grown.
you started it?
Yeah,
Okay,
and
great.
right now it's got about 1,400 people in there right now. So
What?
I'm thinking at this point, like this is when you start a cult, right? This is the right size for that, or should I wait
Yes.
till it gets at least another digit on there or something?
Yeah, no,
Or
you should
is it
definitely
too
start
early?
scheduling some meetups in the desert area somewhere.
That's okay. That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah.
But it's really funny because I started it actually in response to a kind of a similar group that just went super left book and like, a group is really just when the group has nothing to do with gender theory, but you know how when you join a group on Facebook, they can like ask you some questions.
Yes.
If the group
Yes.
doesn't have to do with gender theory, but their questions, gatekeeping questions,
Oh, are geared
have to
towards
do with
that.
gender theory,
Yeah.
that's when you know it's probably gonna be not the best fit.
It's going to be a treat to spy on.
Yeah. But my thing is I love tag groups. I love being able to tag a group when I see something funny on the internet. Like if I see
Sure.
somebody on the internet just spouting gibberish, I want to be able to tag the group. Those are definitely all words.
They
So I
certainly are.
just created one. And already we've had in my little cult, we've had a little church split. And
A church split.
because we've talked about some of the unique individuals who try to hit on girls using broken English, and it statistically there is a pretty decent percentage of those that are from India.
Oh, did you hit a nerve with that crowd, Cowan?
Now I didn't.
Okay.
Someone else made a passing joke just about like, oh, there was a bunch of gibberish about a guy hitting on a woman, and so as a joke, somebody said, "India has entered the chat room," which is pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Okay, and
And then somebody else took offense at that
okay,
and reported it, which you don't do. You don't do that.
No.
That's because that's what gets Zuckerberg's eyes on your group, and it can get you shut down.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so that is like literally one of the intro questions is like, don't report this group. Also, don't be super racist is one of the questions.
Or super sensitive.
Right. But don't report the group is one of the questions, along with Ken I has the wake up sheeple and because those are definitely all words. And
yeah.
So
okay. So what happened?
So somebody reported it, and I called him out. I'm like, "Don't report this group, you moron!" And then a bunch of other people were like, "Well, you're more offended that she broke the rules than that guy who made that incredibly racist
Oh, here we go.
comment."
Here
and
we go.
I was like, "Yes, yes,
yes, actually,
yeah."
I'm very offended she reported because look, I'm a Facebook illiterate, as everybody knows, but so you have to report the group. You don't report the specific person that was offending in the group.
No,
is that right?
No, what you do is you report the comment, and that causes a flag for your group that Zuckerberg then takes a look at.
All right.
We had that happen in the Spaz one time because there were two people with masks on kissing, and somebody took offense at that and reported that to Zuck.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
That's right.
all the groups know that the proper response is you tag someone who's an admin in that group and get their eyes on it, and that way you don't attract the all powerful Zuck.
The all powerful Zuckernator.
Yeah. So it was pretty funny because a couple people just like spat spat off at me and started calling me names because I cared more about not getting the entire group destroyed
than don't care about our feelings.
Right. Than somebody's offense. And it wasn't like a racial attack or something like against an entire nationality. It was literally just commenting on the fact, and every girl has experienced this, which is my wife just walked in while I was podcasting.
I just love that because I can totally see you on my end.
You saw
just
me.
the hand shooing. I can't believe you got away with
is that about?
I cannot believe that works. That was.
I you gotta put your woman in their place. What can I say?
Oh my gosh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last podcast that we have on this show, so we're gonna make it a good one. Sure.
Did you like that just smooth hand gesture? Like,
dude,
away,
that
woman.
was just like that was away. Seriously. Yeah, that was going back to the early 1900s right there.
Yeah. Get back in the kitchen. You can make me a sandwich, but just let me know first. That's the key. Anyways, I don't understand why people think I'm insensitive and why they tried to argue with me in that Facebook group. Anyway, so a couple people spat off, called me names. I booted a couple because I'm like, I don't care if you agree or disagree, but don't like personally attack people. That's not cool.
Well, you've got 1,400. You can spare a few.
And then came the white savior to put me in my place. And she got into all of the critical race theory, all of the cliches that are so hot right now. All the stuff about like how if you're white, nobody can ever be racist against you, which is an incredibly racist statement. To make a blanket statement about an entire race and say, nope, white people, if your color is white, you cannot ever experience racism in any way.
Don't you love that?
I guarantee those people have never been like a white person in China or Indonesia or any
France.
Majorly, right. Well, yeah, that too.
No, I'm just kidding.
Any majority non-white country, especially like a lot of third world countries that are non-white, if they see the color of your skin, they're going to often target you for bribes or worse. And so the idea that white people can never experience any kind of racism, but the reason is they in order to make that statement, they have to redefine what racism is. Because what they will say is racism is no longer just prejudice based on someone's race, which is the actual definition of racism.
Right.
They say it's systemic racism.
Ah, yes. That word systemic.
And that, for some reason, is now the only possible definition of the word racism. For years, racism meant racism. But now they try to say racism means systemic racism, which means it's racism that has to do with how much power in general people have over other people of other colors. And if you have to redefine a word and make up a new definition in order to make an argument, you have no argument.
I would agree with that.
You're no longer using words. You're just using. I mean, I could just say that. Well, I mean, if we're just making up new definitions for things and saying that only our new definition applies and no other previous definition applies anymore, then I could just say racism means cupcakes, and anyone who consumes cupcakes is officially a racist. Because,
oh, crap.
Yeah. So you should.
I've eaten a cupcake before.
Well, then, Nate, I hate to tell you.
You need to self-crit.
Yeah. You need to take a look at yourself because that is literally internalized racism now.
Okay. Well, it's good to know.
You ate that cupcake. It's inside of you now. It's internalized.
It's good to know.
But that's what's stupid. And that's what's crazy about this extreme, like, woke mentality of, like, gender doesn't mean the definition of gender that it has for years, which was sex, male or female. Now gender has a new meaning, and we not only have a new meaning, we forbid anyone from using the previous meaning.
Right.
And it's the same thing with racism now. Now racism means this brand new meaning that we just came up with, to the exclusion of the original meaning, which is freaking sane. And society can't run that way, because then you're just back to the Tower of Babel. Nobody can understand each other, because you're literally refusing to hear the other person who is speaking in a language that you grew up with, but are now just refusing to participate in. And it's psychotic. Anyway, so this person,
what was the duration between reading her comment and blocking her then on the group?
I did not block her, because this person, even though she was saying insane things, was still having a conversation with me.
Well,
and I'm totally cool. I'm totally cool with having a conversation with you, as long as you're not, getting into name calling and that kind of thing. But
that's awesome.
What was hilarious was she was, she's a white person, totally lecturing me on how racist I am.
No, and I don't believe that for a second.
Right. Yeah, no, it's shocking. And she was telling me, just telling me all this stuff. And I'm like, well, and basically saying that I'm not allowed to have an opinion on it because I'm white.
Right.
Because it disagrees with, because there were a couple people who disagreed with my take on it, who were not white. And so automatically, because they're not white and I am white, I'm not allowed to have an opinion on it. And this white person was explaining all that to me, like, oh, well, you're not white, or you are white, so therefore you don't get to have an opinion on this. Which I'm going to say that's crap, because I am human and we all get to have opinions on stuff.
You would hope so.
But what was hilarious was I have a lot of friends of all races and nationalities, white and black. Her take on this was, well, because I've heard from black people who disagree with you, therefore you're not allowed to speak on this, because only these black people or people of color have any right to an opinion on this. I have lots of people who are white and black and Mexican and all kinds of different ethnicities. And some do agree with her, and some would side with her. But also several would very much disagree with her. And so my take on it is this. It turns out that black people can disagree with other black people. And I know that's shocking for a lot of white liberals. But black people can actually have their own opinions, and they don't all feel the same way on these issues. Right. And I hear from both sides all the time, because I try not to live in an echo chamber. So the moral of the story here, I think, is just people should be judged. Now, this is going to be crazy. This is a super extremist voice.
All right, hit us with it.
But people should be judged not for the color of their skin. An opinion should stand on its own. If an opinion is valid or not has nothing to do with the skin color of the person who holds that opinion.
Where have I heard that before?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I would even take it further, and this is just a little thing I came up with. But I don't know. I have this silly little. Well, I have a dream,
Oh gosh.
That one day my children will be judged for the content of their character and not the color of their skin. I know it's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow, those are brilliant words, man.
It's just this crazy little dream I have. I just made that up,
You thought white savior was pissed before.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I just want to ask these people, like, okay, they get all their opinions from people of color, and I respect that. You should listen to everyone. You should definitely listen to people, especially anyone who has experienced racism. Absolutely, listen to what they say. But you also don't just turn off your brain and be like, oh, well, I'm white and they're black and therefore only their opinion is valid. That's not how the world works. And that is actually a racist assumption that every single black person has the same experiences and has the same perspective on these all important issues. And they do not. And that is politics that wants to make us into those tribes and make us into like every, this is the black voting block and they can only vote one way. And this is the white voting block and they can only vote another way. And this is, this and that. And that is super unhealthy for any kind of democracy or republic or anything like that.
Any place where you want free speech.
Yes, exactly. All right. Anyways, moving along.
Check your privilege.
All right. This is the part of the show where we start off with a privilege check. It's so important. It is so important. We are, as we've discussed, we are two white heterosexual cisgender males, and we have a lot of privilege, and this is kind of our time to confess it all and just feel bad about it. There's no redemption for our privilege. No. We just have to feel bad about it. So whose turn is it to start? Is it me?
Whichever you think is more important.
Yeah, I'm supposed to choose between you or me being more important? Is that?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, wow.
No, our entire friendship rides on this decision right now.
Wow. Okay. So, anyways, for this week, I'll start. That was easy.
No, I thought I'd make the choice really simple for you. There you go.
That's really good. I went out today, and I was kind of deciding which direction to go this week, but I went out today. See, here's the thing. Okay, here's an aside. If today had gone according to plan, I would have a very on-topic item for today's privilege check.
Oh, okay.
And you do recall what the topic for the week is.
Yes. Yes.
But last week we swore that we would not have a video game themed episode.
Right.
Obviously, can't really go completely around that. But let me just say, you should thank FedEx that my weekly privilege update has at least been the one that has to do with our topic has been delayed at least till the next episode. And I will leave it at that. I'm not gonna.
I don't understand. Like, you have everything. What could possibly I don't understand. But anyway,
it's really simple, Nate. It's really simple. The only thing I don't have, is more.
Wow, that is a healthy and totally not scary approach to life.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm not going to discuss that this week. I'm going to keep it non-video game related.
Well, yeah. The only reason we have to talk about video games is because the wheel is forcing us to later on in the episode.
The wheel. It's irony knows no bounds.
Yeah.
So I took the kids out to see a movie this week.
Today?
Today. Oh, you did too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Along with the rest of California, because our theaters have been closed for a godless amount of time. What did
solid
you see?
year.
You took your kids out?
I did over the weekend.
What'd you see?
Same thing that you're about to talk about. Believe it or not.
All right. Yeah. So you took them out to see, what's a really raunchy movie that came out? I'm trying to, so I can make a joke, but I can't. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what's raunchy.
It was classics. Yeah, no, they were. They had a reshowing of 50 Shades, and so you know I had seen it a few times, but the kids hadn't. So
yeah. Well, the kids really enjoyed Showgirls, and it was a good. You know, I think I was able to appreciate it a little more than I did.
Well, especially the fact that it had come out in 3D. So
yeah, that was definitely Raya and the Last Dragon. And it was good. It was really good. I was pretty happy with it. It was funny. It was action packed. It was all that stuff and
beautiful animation.
Yeah, beautiful animation, lots of cool martial arts and all that stuff. It was good. It was really good. Loved it. Kids loved it. You guys loved it?
Yeah, no, the kids really liked it, and it was either that or Tom and Jerry. So I'm pretty glad I threw down money for Raya. I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't hear many good things about Tom and Jerry, and I was a huge fan of the Tom and Jerry cartoons growing up.
Really?
Oh yeah. I
Really?
watched because they, for some reason, they had the syndication of the Tom and Jerry cartoons, and I would watch those every day. Like I loved them. It was great.
Really?
But I heard the movie, as they do with all like concepts they try to dredge up from our nostalgia, totally were not like the cartoons. Didn't do them any justice. So forget them.
We did see the movie. That we saw Tom and Jerry because it was streaming on HBO, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I think HBO. I want to say HBO.
Okay.
Something like that. One of those.
One of those
50 streaming services we have now.
I was gonna say, one of those things that you pay a la carte for, so you end up paying twice normal cable bill. Yeah.
Oh no, it's Paramount Plus, formerly CBS.
Oh, there we go. As long as we're talking about privilege, yeah.
Yeah, I signed up for CBS to watch Picard because I hadn't seen that yet, And then, like the next week, it turned into Paramount Plus, and they threw Tom and Jerry at me, and I'm like, "Fine, kids will watch Tom and Jerry."
Yeah, we're not going to watch it. I mean,
it was, I think it accomplished what it set out to accomplish.
Okay.
So interpret that however you want.
All right.
I would not describe its ambitions as lofty. But it accomplished them.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
They drop kicked the bar and it landed on the ground and they surpassed it.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so that was so we watched that for sure.
Okay.
And Raya was good. It was we went to did you go to Studio Movie Grill? The one that was
that was like one of the only places around.
Oh, that's true. It's the only one showing it. Yeah, that's so weird. None of the other theaters seem to be showing it. So we did that, and I gotta say, while it is always a fun idea to go to a theater that serves food while you watch the movie.
Yep.
The implementation always seems to just miss the mark just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And so, we got the classic, cheeseburger without any cheese, didn't bring utensils.
See, Studio Movie Grill, we've learned for a while now, it is right next to like 15 different places to eat.
Right.
So the kids and I went to good old In-N-Out before we actually went to our showing, and so the worst we had to worry about was popcorn, which thankfully it's very hard to botch that.
Yeah. I'm sure they managed to forget the butter or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
we smuggle in candy. We do whatever we can to save a buck.
Yeah, just smuggling. Stop at the Dollar Tree on the way. You're good.
Dude, SMG charges $10 for a kid's meal. I don't know nice restaurants that charge $10 for a kid's meal. Like that's full on extortion. They're like, while we got you here and while we got you in the seats, we're good.
That's true. And I paid for one of those. I paid for one. So
I'm sure.
That's why they do it, because they can.
Yeah.
And
they gotcha.
Yeah. So it was, it was fun to get out.
Yes.
But I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out what it is about going to the movie theater that is still attractive anymore. I guess it's just seeing. Is it just the fact that I think it's just it's down to you're leaving your house. I feel like that's the only advantage.
Yeah,
it feels like you're going and doing something. It's
not to speak for a majority of people listening to this podcast, Cowan, but when you don't have an 86 freaking inch TV, sometimes you need a little grandiose viewing of your movies. But when you have the
fair.
86-inch TV, then it just becomes excessive, and the whole point of your story just leads right into privilege in the first place.
That's true. Well, there we go. I was privileged to go to the theater. I was privileged to come back to my 86-inch TV. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You got to understand, Nate. This is all part of our parenting strategy. Okay.
oh boy, this is gonna be good.
This is all part of our parenting strategy.
Yeah,
we decided long ago, as our kids get older, they're probably going to make some friends, and they're going to want to hang out with those friends. And, in this day and age, it's important to know where your kids are.
Oh, my gosh.
So our goal is to be the house.
Oh, God.
That is where the kids are.
You're gonna need, dude. No joke. Like when they get older and they they got teens over at your place. You're gonna need to have like a freaking tip jar that funds the snacks, because they're gonna be burning through. Like it's like, okay, it's fine if you guys come over, but there's gonna be a cover charge to enter the Cowan household.
Yeah. I'll just get one of those popcorn. I'll replicate the theater model. I'll start selling them $10 kids meals. I'll make popcorn and I'll start selling it to them. That's going to be the key.
You've got little laminated menus. You're like, you can have the chicken tenders or the miniature deep dish pizza.
Hells yeah. Dude, this is brilliant. I'm totally going to do this. Not only are we going to be the house where all the kids are going to want to be, we're going to freaking make money off those suckers.
I was going to say, they're all going to bring phones by the time it happens. So just make sure all their phones are linked up to Venmo. They're paying you for every little item you put in their hands.
And I'll hire my kids to like sell it to them too. I'll just have a whole automated passive income operation.
You'll work with them on the sales pitches.
Yeah. I'm like, no, you need to be pushing that cheddar seasoning on that popcorn. Mason, you have not met the quota this week.
Yep.
Bring more friends then, okay? We've got a quota.
Connor, you didn't sell enough red vines this time.
Do you want me to repossess your teddy bear? Daddy, no! Don't take Fuzzy Wuzzy. Fuzzy Wuzzy's looking too lean. We're gonna have to sell him.
I guess Mr. Blanky Man's not gonna see the light of day until we start pushing extra butter on this crowd, huh, guys?
Oh man, yeah, it's a foolproof strategy. I don't see. There's no downside whatsoever.
Nope, not at all.
This is, it's called using your resources. Children are a great resource.
That's right.
All right, how about you? What's your privilege update?
Okay, so one of the things that I love when it comes around this time of year is that I start getting all the emails from food vendors offering me birthday freebies, which I am completely shameless about. I love myself a birthday freebie, and it's so I got a birthday reward for Yogurtland. Yogurtland is a local yogurt store. I'm pretty sure now that's
a yogurt themed like amusement park.
Theme park. Yeah, no, it's all about you ride around in sherbet cups. And no, it's literally just a serve yourself yogurt place. It's nothing. Yeah, even though the name sounds fantastical, it's run by teens and it's nothing big. But there's I think the one by me,
as opposed to like Disneyland, which totally isn't like teenagers operating all the rides and stuff.
That's true. Yeah, you're putting your safety in the hands of a teenager for Space Mountain. So
which, by the way, I just watched a YouTube video that was like a compilation of accidents on amusement ride.
You're coming off hot off of something like that, man. You're going to be thinking about nothing but just horrible disasters at
I'm like,
theme parks.
maybe we'll put off that trip to Disneyland, even though it's opening it up again next
maybe until
month.
once they open back up, they're going to need some time to, work out the kinks.
Make sure everything's running real smooth before we hop back on that.
Wait until the next 3 significant fatalities and then go.
Yeah.
So
Yogurtland.
they send me a little thing saying, hey, you get 5 free ounces of yogurt. Get your butt in here. Get your fat butt in here. So I visit, and this is like a, ever since COVID, you have to wear like these plastic gloves to like self-serve your own yogurt. And then if you want toppings, you have to, they have everything encased in saran wrap, and you have to let the teen attendant know, I want some of that and some of that. You
have to put on a hazmat suit and like put your hand through those like gloves that go through the glass wall.
Exactly. And like you're dealing with a virus or something. That's exactly
like active uranium or something. Yeah,
that's exactly that. So this girl, I want to say she was like in her late teens, maybe early 20s. Let me ask you, because if anybody's been listening to the podcast for a long time, they know that Cowan, I believe, began his working history at a Jamba Juice, or at least if that wasn't the first job, that was close too, right?
Yeah, it was definitely, other than doing weeds for an old grumpy lady, yes, that was my first job.
Right. Other than selling weed to a grumpy old lady, that he worked at a Jamba Juice.
Actually,
I know. I totally get it, man. No, you were easing her pain. I think that's awesome. Okay. So let me ask you, when you worked there, were you given instruction to act a certain way as far as friendly customer service? Like, were you?
Oh yeah. You've been to Jamba Juice. You know how those people be. Just like, you got to be super over the top friendly and enthusiastic, all that crap.
Okay, so then can you give me a very brief example of what that would sound like?
Hey, welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Nice. Okay, so imagine that, but at Yogurtland.
Okay,
and like you can normally tell when somebody's kind of like new, and they're they just finished watching the employee training video.
They're a little too excited.
They're super excited. She was like so over the top friendly, and just to the point where it sounded so fake. Like, it just sounded so. Like, it got to the level where it was no longer genuine. Like, it didn't even say, and it
didn't even sound like fake genuine.
Right. Right. It was like, no, I know. I'm using interesting words here, but
no. Well, cause I'm thinking like, you've been to Dutch Brothers, right?
Rarely. Yeah.
Okay. Dutch Brothers is that level all the time. Just over the top, super friendly, acting like they're your best friend, acting like they care about you. It's not like, Chick-fil-A is like the genuine, like, I feel like these people would hug me in an instant.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're family at Chick-fil-A. Right. They just love me. But Dutch Brothers is way over the top. They're just like, so what you doing, man? How's it going? Any plans after this? What I'm pretending to care. But they do not. It is so funny, and I hate it. And it's a coffee place. I haven't even had my coffee yet. Why are you talking to me like this?
You can't be talking to me like this if I haven't had my coffee yet, and I can reciprocate. No. So she wasn't that level of like, hey, what's going on? What are you up to? Like, it was very, okay, sir, would you like any toppings today? Blah, 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 blah. Will you be paying with cash or card? Blah, blah, blah. Would you like a lid? Blah, 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 blah. And and it was over the top. And the thing was, it's not like she was putting on a show for anybody. I was the only person in Yogurtland. Like, and so that's what made it particularly just
Right.
unnerving. Like
Yeah.
have you seen that movie Get Out? Like you saw that
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
Get
yeah,
Out,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. A little too excited to see it. Yeah.
Where the concept is somebody spoiler alert, but the point is that somebody's trapped in somebody else's body, and that person can't, and that person has a pained look on their face. This was the exact same situation. Like, I was almost expecting there to be like a bead of sweat on her brow. And she's like, well, sir, do you have a rewards program? Like, just this rictus of a smile that just is so fake. I just want to be like, it's okay. You can act like your normal self. I'm the only one in this place. Is there a security camera like on us that your job is contingent on?
Is there someone holding you hostage? Is there like a robber behind the counter?
I was
blink twice for help.
Yes, I was hoping the poor girl would just blink and let me know, or maybe write something on the yogurt cup, just like, help me. But it was very odd, and it was to the point where I'm just like, I don't know if you're new at this, but it's okay just to be natural friendly to people, because, and I don't know if maybe people that have trouble just being naturally friendly, maybe they need to resort to just that whole manufactured process, customer service. But to me, it was so just. It was weird. And then I just left, and thank you and have a nice day. And I don't know. It was weird. It was almost like it was like Invasion of the Body Snatchers at Yogurt Land. Right. It was really bizarre. I expected to see the real girl like tucked under the counter or something. Like
Stepford Wives kind of situation here.
She had this look in her eye that's just like, soulless.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's so I think there's a point where customer service can almost, I don't know, it can almost hit that upper threshold of just being, you go from, okay, this teen doesn't give a crap about me and obviously shows it in their work and how they address me. And then there's like good, just kind of natural, personable.
Right.
And then it just gets into this upper echelon of just like, oh man, somebody's watched the training video one too many times. Right. And the training video is from the 90s.
Right. Well, I'm almost like, what I would want to ask her, like, what topping are you lacing your froyo with? Because maybe I want in on that.
It's like, I know you already put several different types of sprinkles on there, but I want the sprinkles.
Right. Yeah. Wink, wink.
Yeah. The sprinkles that you are no doubt keeping in the back room to make you feel this loopy and good. Go for it.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I want it. Just mix it in there. Let's make some kind of cocktail. I don't care.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
Because I worked food service, but I never worked usually like a lot of the front counter and stuff. And so I didn't have to put on a lot of those fake smiles and stuff. But I imagine that the more you do it and the longer you do it, the more you just die just a little bit inside every time.
Probably. I don't know. She's maybe this is like her first day on the job. She's just like full of. But you never. There is a scale to like customer service. Chick-fil-A is right in that sweet spot.
When you're here, your family.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A knows exactly what it's doing. They're friendly, but they're very rarely over the top. They're just super polite. Yeah. They're just super nice, accommodating, and polite. Jamba Juice might be a step higher than that, where they're like a little too friendly. And then Dutch Brothers. You never go full Dutch Brothers. You just don't.
That's awesome.
You just don't go full Dutch Brother, because nobody wants anybody up in their business as much as Dutch Brothers people are.
Right.
They're always like these young, attractive teens, all just like squeezed in this little booth. And
I was going to say, it must get pretty uncomfortable in there.
I'm just thinking like it just does not seem like doesn't
jive.
I just don't want to. We're not on the same level, okay? We're not part of each other's world. You don't care what I'm doing after I get my Coco Moco, and
well, to be fair, you can't see behind the counter. They probably have IVs of espresso hooked up that just powers them through the day.
I would think that if there was any actual coffee in their drinks, but if you go to Dutch Brothers, it's all cream and sugar.
My wife is cracking up right now. What you just said.
That is so freaking true. They don't. Yeah. They're cream and sugar, and then like they add some coffee flavor to it.
Yes,
but there's no actual coffee in their drinks, so they're all just on a sugar high.
Yeah,
that whole time
they've just been pounding the equivalent of chocolate milk all morning.
yeah, they're not.
You'd be loopy too.
So even after you get your drink, you're still not drinking coffee. So like, there's no point during that interaction at Dutch Brothers that I'm ever caffeinated enough to engage on the level that they're trying to engage with me.
Exactly.
And I've taken to just lying when they ask, because they ask all these questions. Like, I don't want to answer questions. This isn't an interview.
I didn't want to get interrogated by my barista. Right. What the heck?
This is not the Inquisition. I'm just trying to get a freaking chocolate milk, basically. And trick myself into thinking it's coffee. I'm not interested in your life. You're not interested in mine.
This isn't some small town coffee shop. Yeah. We're not going to strike up a relationship that lasts for years.
So I just try to make it. I'm just like, fine. You want to play? I'll play. So they're always like, where are you off to? I'm looking for a landfill or metal foundries. So you know any good places around here to dump a body?
Oh, gee.
They're like, how's your day going? I'm getting a divorce. How about you? Just let's throw awkward stuff at them.
Really try to trip them up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my goal. I'm like, fine. You're gonna play games? Let's play games. I'll call you out. I'm gonna call your bluff. You really care about me?
I'm gonna test that theory to the limit.
I ran over 3 kittens on the way here. What you gonna do about that?
All right, you're gonna have to start recording the reactions of the baristas. I want to see that.
Start doing that,
dude. That would be a killer YouTube series. Do it.
Just like, yeah. Got to come up with a clever name for it. Like, yeah, tricking them. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, moving on to our next segment.
The Social Net Jerk.
Oh. All right, this is the part of the show where we peruse the internet's social media, Facebook, Twitter, usually Facebook, just for people just kind of making fools of themselves on the internet, just kind of, being weird, being creepy, like way over virtue signaling, whatever it is. We are here for it. And it is lovely. It's endless.
That's a popular segment.
Do you use, or you're maybe not you so much, but your wife uses Facebook Marketplace and stuff?
Oh yes, yeah. I've used it too. I've sold a few things.
Yeah. I've sold a couple things, bought a couple things. I think it's definitely replacing Craigslist. I've not bought or sold anything on Craigslist
I have
years.
not used Craigslist in a long time.
Yeah, so kudos to the Zuck for making some good business strategizing, and because the marketplace thing is a pretty solid angle. And then of course you always got to like creep on the people who you're buying or selling from, because you got to like be like, who is this weirdo trying to buy my Xbox or whatever? Like
exactly.
Are they going to be super shady? And they always are.
Usually.
Especially if they're like the demographic to which you sell Xboxes is not the same demographic to which you sell, a mid-century modern couch.
Let's hope not.
They're just not. Yeah. They're not the same.
If they ever want to meet you by a river or a chemical plant to do the transaction, just say no.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or an abandoned warehouse.
Yeah. And, it kind of determines, one person you might be comfortable. The mid-century couch person, you're comfortable with them coming by your house to pick up the item. The Xbox person, you might be little more hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Just putting it out there.
So okay, so there's lots of that, and it's always interesting to see what kinds of things people are selling. We've got a couple items here for sale, from really across the country, and you want to try describing this first one?
Sure, yeah. This first one is it's a bag of what were once pennies. It looks like many different pennies. Oh, excuse me. They're selling a specific number. It looks like 50 cross pennies. Oh. Now, what is a cross penny, you may ask? That is a penny with a cross-shaped hole. And they're not going to waste. They're not going to waste what they cut out. So they're going to give you those copper crosses they cut out. They're also going to provide those separately in their own bag, and you get 50 of them to hand out to people, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah, and they clearly have more than 50. That's what's crazy is they have more than 50 pennies that they have punched cross-shaped holes into.
There's hundreds in that bag.
They're selling them by the 50, along with the cross that came from the hole. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Does maybe try?
I think the more you try to wrap your brain around it, Cowan, the more you're going to get a headache.
Why?
But
why?
But the great observation that you brought up, and you can share it if you like, is why?
Right.
Why did the seller post multiple pictures of these pennies? He posted, I think, 4 separate pictures. I think maybe from different distances or different angles. It's all the same thing.
It's not
the first picture would have just been just fine.
Well, it's not. It's not like, oh, here's a close-up of what the penny looks like up close in case you couldn't tell that it's a cross punched out of a penny.
Right?
It's literally just it's all from the same distance, and it's like 5 photos of a bag full of pennies and some of them strewn out, and they got the holes punched out of them. Like it's just like who's looking at this and is like, I've been wanting some pennies with hole shapes punched out of them, but I'm just not sure. Let me take a look at these photos. Okay, the 5th photo
that sealed
of
it.
Pennies with a cross hole, and that now I'm convinced. Yeah, I'm gonna plunk down my $10 for 50 of these. It's money well spent. That last photo of a bag full of cross pennies that. You sold me. I wasn't sure, and then you sold me there. Good.
Oh, man. Wow.
So many questions about this. First of all, isn't this illegal?
So little will to find out why.
Yes.
It was illegal. Okay, well, so that's I think what one of our community members asked. Yeah. And but you know what? Then I started thinking about it, and I said. And I thought, well, if you can get in trouble for doing this, then I'm sure Disneyland can get in trouble for pressing Mickey's face into a penny that they smush.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so that is the thing.
I think you can deface a penny.
You can't really deface a dollar bill, but apparently pennies are fair game because everybody's selling where you pay 51 cents and you come away with a smashed penny. Woohoo!
Yeah.
As a souvenir.
I mean, I guess those are like on every major tourist attraction across the nation.
Yeah. There's so many. They clearly have like at least I'd say $10 worth of these pennies.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just I part of me really wants to know the backstory, and part of me is just like maybe it's best that it's just left a mystery. I don't know.
But there might be some church out there that's willing to buy a bag of 50 or so and hand them out to their congregation. I have no idea. I don't know.
Is this new take on that old song, Pennies from Heaven? Shooby-doo-doo. You know that one? you know the one.
Just when I think that there's no way I could even be hipper than you, you go and share something like that.
Yes. Nothing's as hip as a reference to a 1940s jazz hit. Yep. And I don't even know any more to the song other than just pennies from heaven, shooby-doo-doo.
Shooby-doo-doo.
Yeah. Who is that?
Oh, man. Were you
probably a Louis Prima. Yeah.
You going to take the next one?
Oh.
This is something special.
Okay, so this was the other item that's for sale. It is a painting.
Boy, is it ever. It's a fine oil painting.
It's fine oil on canvas. Titled 9/11.
Oh dear.
And it has to do with what you would imagine. Except it's not what you imagine, because what you probably imagine is something inspirational, showing the, two towers, ghostly image amidst the clouds, with firemen and, other local heroes standing around it,
right.
and solemn honor of the lives that were lost.
Maybe the American flag erected in the rubble, or
something. Some kind of American flag. No.
Nope.
This is it shows the two towers with one burning and a plane actively heading towards the other one.
It is seconds away.
Yeah.
Seconds away from making impact.
Yes. So that's happening. So we're just like right about to see that. And then that's in the background with tons of smoke all around. And then we have in the foreground on the left, we have George Bush looking kind of just weary. I don't know if he's like sad or just kind of like tired.
He looks tired. Puzzled, and I don't know if that was intentional by the artist, depending on their political affiliation or what.
I don't know.
But he just looks a little bewildered and perplexed.
Yeah. And then we've got Osama bin Laden on the right.
Wow.
Basically equal level to George Bush. Just kind of staring solemnly. And then even further into the foreground, we have two masked terrorists.
Oh boy!
With what are those, AK-47s or something?
Yeah, some automatic rifle or something.
And then we've got crying, looks like Middle Eastern women with their hijabs, and then a couple other people crying, children crying. And then a freaking missile launching from the left corner.
Well, that's what hit the Pentagon, Chris. I mean, come on.
Oh, right. I forgot. It wasn't a plane. It was of course.
Yeah.
And then I can't tell what's in the lower underneath the missile, but there's something.
I think that's just the propulsion. Like, I think that's just honestly.
No, like right under it. There's something. I can't tell what it is. I don't know. Some kind of structure or ship or something. So I don't know what it is, but it's really bizarre. Like I can't even fully describe how bizarre it is, but it looks like it's, like I said, you would picture like firemen or like, maybe George Bush would make an appearance. But the fact that they chose, we're going to put George Bush and Osama bin Laden on like equal level.
Right.
And then
like it's an MMA matchup.
Right. And then we've got these terrorists and Middle Eastern people crying and it just doesn't seem like the terrorists are the ones you would really want to let's bring these people to the utmost forefront. This would be our main takeaway.
I don't know why anybody would want to hang this over their fireplace.
Right. What are you gonna do with this? Is the real question. This isn't like this isn't an exact. The artist clearly was not going for inspirational.
No, there's nothing symbolic about this. It's just straight up the atrocities. For anybody who's a fan of Parks and Rec, one of the things I loved about that fictional town was they had the most inappropriate murals painted on their walls in their what is it, their convention
In
center
the
or whatever.
City Hall, yeah.
Or, yeah, their city hall. This totally reminds me of that. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like if you said, you know, if you could you know, commission an artist to really
Yeah.
make something that's powerful about how we felt about 9/11.
Oh man, can you imagine this like hanging in the One World Trade Center or something? Oh my gosh,
by the snack bar.
it's so terrible.
Yeah,
so terrible.
Wow. Well, best of luck getting a buyer for that. Oh,
Yeah.
good. His artist is Nathan. That's awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
for making all Nathans look awesome.
Yeah. All right. So this next one, it's, you know, speaking of inappropriately responding to traumatic news, world events, or you know, so recently over the past year, there's been an uptick in violence towards Asian Americans, and so that's been getting a lot of attention, and you know, people are kind of speaking up against it. You know, stop the hate, and you know, a lot of it is good, and it's like, hey, let's bring attention to this, bring awareness. This is so not cool. You know, racism is bad, all that. And then there's people like this guy.
Yeah.
So the caption is, it's very similar. Like, so you remember when Black Lives Matter happened last year, and they had Blackout Tuesday, where lots of people, you know, as a sign of their solidarity with Black Lives Matter, just put their Instagram photo to black.
Yep.
As a kind of, you know, was it a sign of
solidarity?
Yeah.
Solidarity.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Some people might have taken that a little far and gone a little wild, and there were some white girls wearing blackface as a stand in solidarity, which was probably not the right move.
Oh,
so wow. Then there's this guy. He's like, I'm not Asian, but I see you. I'm not Asian, but I hear you. I'm not Asian, but I'm with you. And he has the yellow fist right next to each of those statements. And then he has a yellow square.
Pure yellow.
Like we had the Blackout Tuesday black for Black Lives Matter. This guy thought it would be a good idea to do an all orange
square for the Fire Festival.
Right.
This is just so wrong in so many. Yeah, but the thing is, though, I forget who posted this on our page. Oh no, you did. I think
I did.
But
yeah.
I'm curious as to what the feedback was. Let's just say for this gentleman that posted this.
I'm guessing it wasn't altogether positive.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: this could be like a troll. This could be just someone trying to get a rise out of people.
It could be.
But I also know that some people are this stupid. So it is very believable. And especially, as I mentioned, during Blackout Tuesday, Black Lives Matter, people like these blonde white chicks were literally putting on blackface to stand with Black Lives Matter. Like that was a thing, and it happened more than once. So if that can happen...
Yeah, and dude, anything's possible. I mean...
Then a yellow square in solidarity with Asians is... it's believable, and that's enough. I'm
just trying to think of a persecution situation now for all the remaining colors on the color spectrum. I mean, for crying out loud, like this is like a what makes the red man red sort of offense.
Right. It's very yeah. I don't know.
Support your local casinos. All red.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. See, it just doesn't work.
Not so much. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they'll probably have to get kind of creative with all that. Well, and then you got the the LGBTQ etc. has like a whole bunch of different color combinations, so that just makes it even trickier.
True. That's true.
What are you gonna do? I can't memorize them all. There's too many color It's like trying to memorize all the internet. It's hard enough to memorize like the difference between Italy and Ireland.
Are you talking about their flag?
With their flags, yeah.
I can't remember the last time somebody grilled me for not remembering what a national flag was. But
right, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard enough to keep track of all the international flags. I don't like trying to keep track of all the gender identity flags, sexual orientation flags. I don't forget about it.
You're just not woke enough, Cowan.
I'm not. I need to work on that.
What have you been doing with your time?
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've been reading poetry, if you must know.
Oh my gosh.
Rupi Kaur. Have you heard of this person?
No.
They get a lot of their poetry shared on Instagram and Facebook, but mostly Instagram for some reason. And it's always just the most cheesy, trying to be deep. But half the time it's more just trying to be erotic. And then the other half it's just okay, whatever. You think you're really deep. I get it.
Right.
And so Rupi Kaur, for some reason, this person gets quoted all the time. They've got a book that I don't know. They had one at Target or something. I don't know. So it's some kind of poet that's really just Instagram famous. And here's the poetry. I want to it's not really there's no rhyming. So if you're expecting some really good some Dr. Seuss level, forget it.
This isn't fantastic prose.
Yeah, no. I want to apologize to all the women I have called pretty before I've called them intelligent or brave. I'm sorry I made it sound as though something as simple as what you're born with is the most you have to be proud of. When your spirit has crushed mountains. From now on, I will say things like, you are resilient, or you are extraordinary. Not because I don't think you're pretty, but because you are so much more than that.
Wow.
So deep.
Wow.
So deep. So from now on, I told my wife I am sorry for ever calling you pretty.
Mm-hmm.
From now on, I'm just going to call you intelligent or brave. I love that because it totally sounds like the kind of thing you would say to someone if you knew that you couldn't call them pretty. Hey, what do you think of that girl? Well, I'm going to say she's intelligent and maybe brave.
I'm guessing intelligent.
Yeah, but how does she look? I bet she's resilient. She seems really resilient.
I like the fact that she has hair.
Yes.
And
I bet she has the spirit that can crush mountains. She has a great personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is stupid on a number of levels. Okay, should you be able to compliment a woman beyond just her looks? Absolutely.
Yes.
But this whole aversion to that being the first thing that you notice.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that the phrase appearances, your first impression is the way you look. It just is that way. That's because that is the first thing you see is the way someone looks. I know that's a really profound little factoid there. So
really thinking outside of the box on that one.
So this idea that should never be the first compliment you give a girl, is just, I don't know. It's just kind of silly. I don't know. That's not. after you get to know someone, sure, then you can say they're intelligent or brave or resilient or extraordinary.
Yeah.
But it's not really like that's not a good opener. Like, hey, can I just say, we don't know each other, but you are resilient.
Yeah, I saw your resilience across the room, and I just had to come over and say hello.
Yeah, hey there. You strike me as someone who's really brave. Because you have to be in order to be out in public looking like that. What? Oh, snap. Like, I don't know from looking at someone whether they're intelligent, brave, resilient, or extraordinary.
No.
But I can tell pretty easily if they're pretty. And, it's not like I go around telling random girls that they're pretty, but it's just like that. I'm sorry you don't like the reality we live in. But the visual impression is the first impression. And
it is. Like it or not.
When you go on a date with someone, you see they're well dressed, you're like, hey, you look nice. Like, oh, how dare you? And why did you call me that instead of intelligent or brave? Because I don't think those things about you now.
Right?
If there was any doubt, it's been removed. So, yeah. I don't know.
It's an excellent point.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's time for our final segment.
Ugh, that's problematic.
And this is the part of the show where we have our random topic that we chose at the top of the show, and we have to decide why it's problematic, because it's always problematic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way it is. Everything is problematic. If you take nothing else away from this show, take that away.
Yep. It's bad. It's bad.
Everything is problematic. And this week it is video games, even though we swore that we would not talk about video games.
The wheel weaves what the wheel wills.
So I'll tell you right now what's problematic about video games is it keeps coming up on this show. That said, let's put it out there to our Stunning and Brave Autonomous Zone. Yeah. That is our super elite Facebook group dedicated to our listeners. And we always like to get their input on these things, put it out there. So if you want to be part of this group, we'd love to have you. Just head on over to Facebook and do a search for SBAZ or Stunning and Brave Autonomous Zone. If you have trouble finding it, you can find one of us on Facebook and message us. We can get you in there. I did have one listener reach out to me and was like, I want to join, but I can't find it. So I was able to just shoot him an invite and get him in there. But nice. Yeah, it is. So what's problematic about video games? Let's see what the people have to say. You want to kick us off here?
Yeah, so Chris says, misogyny. Have you seen the way the female characters are dressed? Except Zelda. She has a sensible dress on for combat. That is true. That is true. That is true. But even Zelda
doesn't wear a dress.
They made the helpless princess way back when Zelda was first created. She was just waiting around for Link to save her. Now they have her as like a warrior chick.
Wait, Zelda's the green guy, right? The elf with the sword.
Gosh. See, this is why you need to get a Switch as quickly
as possible. I'm kidding. I'm just trying to annoy. I'm trolling. Yeah, that's true. They've got the helpless princess. Both Zelda and Mario have helpless princesses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, Link. Well, the game Zelda. I understand that Link is the elf. Okay, moving on. But the way the female characters are dressed, that's actually gotten better. In most cases, like Tomb Raider, they chilled the F out on her when they.
That was getting a little extreme.
I had no idea polygons could be quite so explicit, when they're just like these angular, but somehow they're like
or jiggly.
Yeah. Somehow with those like 1996 Tomb Raider video games, they were like, we don't have a lot of polygons, so let's put them all in the boobs.
We spent 80% of our budget on physics.
Yes. Yeah. And I remember playing that game, and like it was so weird because like it was just so bizarre how much boobage there was with so few polygon. It was so weird.
Yeah. No, those programmers made do. God bless them.
Yeah. So and the fighting games though are some of the worst. The
oh my gosh, yes.
The Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur. Is that Soul Calibur?
No, DOA, Dead or Alive.
Yeah. All the just wearing loincloths and bikinis and
dude,
and
one of those games had, I'm not joking, it was a jiggle meter that you could toggle.
What?
Yes. They had a sliding scale that you could adjust the jiggleness of the fighters. I'm not joking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where our programmers were at in the late 90s.
You always put yours on maximum jiggle. I assume.
Well, this is not about me. This is about us lambasting video games.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's definitely true. They've definitely had a history of objectification.
Just a little bit.
Of the women. And, to be fair, of the men too. Because it's not like, you're going over in Satine is like this scrawny, guy with a dad bod.
That's true.
He's looking like he's something of an object himself,
Yo, he's shredded.
Obviously I buy Street Fighter for the chick, but Satine is definitely there luring in all those women, I'm sure, who love playing Street Fighter, which those do exist. I know. But definitely objective. That's a great point. The misogyny, the objectification, that's definitely a thing. But Duke Nukem isn't exactly,
Duke Nukem. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like everybody always points out like the girls are these just like unrealistic like stereotypes and objective like perfect bodies and stuff. And it's like, I'm sorry. Have you seen Duke Nukem? Have you seen what's his name?
Yeah.
That other Street Fighter dude. You play any of them. They're all unrealistic expectations. Like
they are. Yeah.
And that's you're not going into just most video games. You're not going in so that you can play like this kind of unathletic dude with a dad bod.
Well, like you said, nobody's gonna want to play a fighter game with two dad bods just throwing down.
Right. Although honestly, we should. That would be,
dude, yeah. That might be a moneymaker.
We should do some kind of Street Fighter-esque game, like Dad Fighter 2, something like that.
Right.
I think that's the move. Yeah. All right. Next one. Robert says, "What's problematic about video games? Literally everything. Gaming takes away time from meaningful dialogue about race, gender, and social issues. Video games are escapist entertainment for white incels, which are the most problematic people of all." I would say that's true, although video games are becoming increasingly topical, and woke. And I have played Cyberpunk.
Oh my goodness!
And
boy, did you ever!
They are, yeah, that's right. You were over, and I had just finished with a cutscene, and
you were gracious enough to give me a demo.
Let's just say you saw boobies. Nate saw some boobies. I did not know that the boobies were present, but
things have changed since Mario.
Yeah, I don't remember Mario having boobies. But in Cyberpunk, there's definitely they exist, and I mean Cyberpunk is progressive, and what's hilarious is even as progressive as it tried to be, with like how you can customize your characters, because you can literally create a person with a female body, but then throw a little dongle on there in between the legs.
Wow.
And so very ultra customizable.
Apparently.
And they still like got flack for it from the progressive side.
Yeah, no, you can't ever be progressive enough. It doesn't matter if you can
never satisfy the woke monster.
Yeah.
So they're actually becoming increasingly progressive and inclusive. In some ways, it's been good, because the new Tomb Raider video games are great. She's still an attractive, athletic person, but she's not freaking like, trying to drag 2 watermelons everywhere she goes.
That would probably hinder fighting.
You would think, but somehow the physics worked out in the previous games. Yeah. But
what's problematic about video games? Nathan says nothing. That's why I own every system. It's my family bonding time. And I love how Chris immediately replies back saying, privilege check.
Yeah. Different Chris, not me. We've got...
No, not you. Not you.
Yeah, that Chris is on it. He's paying attention. That's right.
That's right.
Own every system. You own tons of systems, though. Don't you like own almost every system from history?
Look, this is not about me. Just kidding.
I'm just saying, keep that in mind when you're talking about my, you have 2 Xboxes. Whatever, dude. You have every gaming system ever made. So,
well, all right. You have a point. You have a point.
Nate, not you.
Not
Nate,
me.
Because these people are all from California. You have a 50-50 chance of being named either Nate or Chris in California. Right. That's just the way it is. So when we're listing off these names that sound like ours, they're not actually ours. Nate says what's problematic is his kill-death ratio.
Self-deprecation.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's saying it's not good enough, although it's problematic to me because, honestly, it's not very equitable to, in comparison to my kill-death ratio, which is much, much lower.
Well, you're going to have to file a complaint.
Although, actually, okay, tangent here. My kill-death ratio has been looking fantastic lately, and let me tell you why.
Because you're playing against yourself.
Okay, so for the non-gamers, Nate, explain what kill-death ratio is.
Well, it's just pretty much what it sounds like when you're fighting in a game or shooting in a game. It's the ratio of the kills you make compared to how many times you are killed yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the higher the ratio, the more deadly you are, and you aren't getting wiped out as much as others.
Yeah. So I recently discovered Call of Duty Mobile, which is it's a online multiplayer, and it includes battle royale as well as just kind of team-based multiplayer, all the classic first-person shooter multiplayer type things. And turns out that is my tribe right there. I cannot explain it because, okay, if I go on Fortnite, I get owned. My kids own me. If I play Halo with my 9-year-old, I get massacred.
Yep.
But on Call of Duty Mobile,
I feel like that is where I am a golden god.
I am a god on Call of Duty Mobile, and I can't explain it. I can't explain it.
This is on your phone.
It's on my iPad.
Okay.
But you can play on your phone. And at first I thought, because, okay, here's the thing. You can actually connect an Xbox controller to your iPad, and you can play these games using a controller. So at first I thought, well, maybe it's just because I'm playing with a controller and they're like trying to do it with the awkward touchscreen or something like that. But first of all, it tries to pair you with other people who are using their controllers, so that's not an advantage. But even still, like, I tried playing without the controller, and I still freaking massacred everybody. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, the next person, like,
I know what this is.
I had like twice their kill score, and what you're gonna say, it's bots, aren't you?
No. I was just gonna say this is what I like to call a little Call of Duty confidence. You have a great afternoon, and just because of odds and probability, you get paired up with people that you can just smoke, and then you bring that confidence into the next session, and you get decimated.
No. See, this is the thing. I thought I got lucky. At first, I thought it was bots, and then I realized no, these are actual players. So then I thought, okay, it's I'm just getting lucky. But no, it kept happening. Then I thought it was the controller, but it's not. It's like a different type of people who are on Call of Duty Mobile, because I've been playing it throughout the week. This wasn't like a one-off thing.
Okay.
It's been consistent that I'm owning people. And I'm not saying that like as a point of like pride. I'm like, this is a weird phenomenon. It's inexplainable.
See,
because I am not good at this.
You have to savor it. Yeah.
I don't understand. And I'm sure like, you level up over time.
Sure.
But it's like compared to like any other platform, most of them do they'll pair you with people on your same skill level.
I love it.
But for some reason on Call of Duty Mobile, I am a god, and I cannot explain it. It makes no sense because I'm terrible at first-person shooters. It makes no sense.
Well, hey, if you find your niche, you got to stick with it, man.
So Nate, you should give it a try, because you have to try it, because if I'm a god at it, I don't know what level is higher than a god, but you're an incredible first-person shooter, dude. And so I just know if you get on there, it would be like it would be like stepping on ants. Like, it would just be insane.
That's
I can't explain it.
Very tempting. And sadly my skills have waned to the point where your boys did destroy me when we played it the other night.
Are you sure you were going easy on them a little?
Oh, no, dude, I started going easy, and then I was like, oh, shoot, okay, I guess I better step it up. Yeah. And then by the end, I was like, I cannot believe how good they are at this game. Like, this just, okay. It was for shame. It was terrible.
Well, that makes me feel a little better, because I've been getting massicered by them for years.
It's obscene. Like their hand-eye, that generation's hand-eye coordination is just off the charts.
There was like a 1 month period, I think, after we got our first Xbox console, where I was like, ha ha, you puny kids, I'm owning you so bad. And then it was
mortals.
It was over.
Yeah, because you had to work and raise a family.
Right, yeah.
And then meanwhile, they're just sitting behind the screen for who knows how many hours a day.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
So, anyways, what's next here? You want to take
I think we can end on Jeremy's, just where he says, I have to quote Back to the Future 2 here. What's problematic about video games? You have to use your hands? That's like a baby's toy.
Hey, we're getting there.
Thank you, Elijah Wood.
We're getting there with the Oculus too. With they can like recognize hands now, so we're getting there. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll let Jacob have his. He says EA is what's problematic about video games.
Oh,
if you know, you know. If you don't
that's
worry
true.
About it. Yeah.
Good point.
Video games are problematic. For me, it's like there's so much, especially with like computers and like what kids can do creatively with especially like gaming consoles and like a lot of stuff like is just creativity oriented, like Roblox and stuff like that. Like you can do some pretty awesome stuff that I'm jealous of. And so what's problematic is there's like nowadays there's like just enough good things about it to make you want to keep, kind of feeding the video game beast.
Sure.
But there's also just so much just like mindless, like this can't be healthy. So I guess it's all about moderation,
right?
Which I know is crazy. But so anyways, video games, like everything else, absolutely problematic. All right, and we are out of time. I say that like it means anything now. Like we're never. It's not like we ever keep it to an hour. Like we have not. Kept it to an hour.
Lately, we've just had too much to say, man.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what our listeners have to say. Do you like that it's going longer, or do you prefer like, hey, I want to be able to keep it within like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour? Let us know what you think. Drop us an email. I'm Chris Cowan at me.com. And yeah, just shoot me an email or find me on the, chime in on the Facebook group or whatever, get a hold of us, leave us a review. That's always good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we will catch you next time. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Bye.
If you're not telling everyone about this show, you're probably a potophobe and a Nazi. Don't be a potophobe. Tell your friends and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you subscribe.